Damon here, and I see you guys, and I gotta say, thank you all so much for making 2,000 subscribers on this channel. Like, I never thought I'd get this far in such a short amount of time, so I gotta say, thank you all so much. And, to celebrate 2,000 subscribers on this channel, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making a video on how to make what ifs. So, I've gotten a bunch of comments pretty much asking, like, how do you make your videos? How do you make what ifs and stuff? So, today I'm just going to be explaining how you do that, and it's not really that scripted, so I might cut out a lot, but I feel like this is better if it comes from the heart. So, yeah. Basically, the process of making what-ifs is the most important part is that you need to know what you're working with. Like, you need to know the source material pretty well. So, for example, let's say, Marvel. Like, let's say you want to make some, like, Marvel what-ifs. Like, what if Spider-Man never died in Infinity War? Spoiler alert. So, you gotta make sure that you know enough about Spider-Man in Marvel to be able to make videos about it. Like, Naruto. A couple people have asked me in the comments, like, hey, can you make what if Naruto was in Dragon Ball? And I'm like, I would, but I've never seen Naruto, so I can't do that. So, pretty much, you need to know the source material you're working with. That way, you can make it like a good story, because you know stuff that's gonna happen, and you can make it different enough when you put your own what-if in there, but also, like, not just completely bonkers and just some random stuff you looked up on, like, Wikipedia or something. And the next thing you gotta know is you gotta come up with an idea for a what-if. Now, this could definitely be one of the hardest parts, because it's just thinking of what would be an interesting story to do for Dragon Ball. Well, for me, when I'm making Dragon Ball what-ifs. And basically, it's just, you look through a bunch of comments on, like, other what-if channels and stuff, and you see suggestions. Like, what I do is, like, I have a couple of ideas that I write down, but I only have, like, 5, because, I don't know, I'm not really imaginative. Or you can go on Moscow's, like, what-if live stream and stuff and check out the what-ifs there, because that's what I do. You can check and see what-if sounds interesting to you, and you can write it down, not like the whole story, but just write down the idea and save it for later. And another big thing, too, is coming up with the idea that not a lot of people have done yet. So, for example, like, a couple people have asked me, like, hey, can you do what if Goku Black turned good? And I would like to, but I believe it's been done already enough where people will not be interested in seeing something like that. So, basically, like, what I'm saying is that, like, if Masako and Salad Saiyan of Carthu's Dojo and any other what-if YouTuber that can come to mind right now, if they've made the exact same what-if, and you're, like, a smaller channel like I am, then you most likely won't get the same amount of views that they're getting, because people have already seen that topic before. So if you regurgitate the exact same topic, then basically everyone's gonna be like, what's the point? I've already seen that one. I don't want to watch it again. Try not to do that as much. Like, you can. No stopping you. Whatever you want. Like, if you want to make What If Goku Black turned good, then all the power to you. But I'm just saying, be cautious about stuff like that. Because, again, like I said, we don't want people being like, oh, shoving you off to the side because they think that they've already seen that topic. So, just be wary of that. Alright, once you have all that out of the way, now you gotta think of a script. So, basically, what you gotta do for what-ifs is you can't just go at, like, blind. You can't just put on the camera and be like, okay, so basically today we're gonna be talking about what if this happened, and you can't just keep that going for 17 minutes, because most likely you're gonna have, like, a brain fart and you're just gonna be like, so, I want this to happen, so let's have that happen. Because, number one, basically, you don't want to be like that person in front of it and be like, what am I doing? I don't really know what I'm doing. And plus, if you just have it all come to mind, and you don't, like, you know, look at it beforehand, like, proofread and stuff, then basically, you're gonna sound like you have no idea what you're doing, and you're just making stuff up that might not be entirely correct. So, make sure that you write down a script for your story that you want to do beforehand. So for me, what I do is that I take my iPad and I just write down the script in notes for the what if, and then I turn on my phone and I just read the script pretty much. That's what I do. So I don't have like a huge recording setup. All I have is literally just my phone and my iPad that I use, and my laptop and stuff too. But I only use that for uploading. I don't use that for, you know, just script writing and stuff. So make sure that you have a concrete script. And when you have your script, you gotta make sure that you proofread it and stuff. Because I've been guilty of this on multiple occasions. Like, I write down something that may not be entirely, like, correct into something that I thought was cool. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that, but I don't, like, want to do something like that either. When in the process of making a script, what I do is I look through the manga on the part that I'm working on. So let's say I'm working on, like, the Buu Saga and stuff. Just so I'm not going off of memory, because I have a terrible memory. But just so you're not going off of memory and getting stuff wrong, what I do is that I always have, like, the manga next to me. Like, okay, like, oh yeah, Majin Vegeta, let's see that again, make sure everything's all good, and cool. Like, I know Dragon Ball, like, a lot, but still, I don't remember everything, so I gotta make sure I have, like, a reference next to me, being like, okay, Frieza Saga, Frieza did all this, okay, cool. And, like, I don't want to, like, put on, like, the anime, because then it'll be, like, a million years if I want to get a what if out if I'm just reviewing it on the anime itself. So I always have, like, the manga next to me. And if you guys don't have access to the manga and you want to make what ifs about Dragon Ball too, you don't need the manga next to you. You can just look up, like, stuff on, like, Wikipedia or something, or the Dragon Ball wiki. Like, okay, is this what happened? You can just read it here. It's all good. And plus, I'm pretty sure you can, like, look up the manga online and just find it there. So doesn't matter if you don't have them all. It's just what I use. Alright, and now, once you have a script and everything, you have an idea, you think it's going to be an amazing what if, the hardest part is recording your audio. Now, recording your audio, you have to make sure that you don't sound like this. Because if you guys have seen a couple of my videos, you can tell that it's not the best. Because when I was first starting out, I had no clue where to go when I was, like, recording and stuff. So I basically just put my phone down wherever and just record it on there. And you can't do that. So you have to make sure that it's on a flat surface, and you gotta make sure that you are clear. Like, you have to review your audio once you've done it. Because if you just put it on, like, a pillow or something, or just put it down on, like, the couch and record on there, then it's not gonna sound very good, because you're gonna sound muffled. And if you just hold your phone when you're recording, then you're most likely going to shake your hand around just a little bit. I'm not saying you're gonna, like, you know, but, like, if you hold your phone like this and you're just talking and you're trying to get into a story, more than likely your hand's gonna move down a little bit and you're gonna hear, like, for some reason, I don't know why, but you're gonna hear that sound. And then, like, when you go to look at your audio, basically you're gonna hear a bunch of choppy noises, and no one's gonna like that. Another big thing is that once you do your audio, you have to make sure that you talk loud and clear. That way you're not just mumbling the entire time so nobody can understand you. And also, if you live in a house with, like, a bunch of people, like I do, unfortunately, you gotta make sure that you edit stuff out. So basically, this is what can make or break your channel, in my opinion. Basically, if you go like much the whole time, everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, are you okay? So what I do when I'm recording, I always take, like, deep breaths and stuff. Like, I read, like, a couple sentences, then I'm like, and I always edit that out. Because I gotta make sure that I'm not just sounding like, basically I'm just dying, pretty much, for the most part. And another thing is, like, if you stutter, just re-say the line and edit that out, basically. So, again, if I'm, like, saying, like, so basically Goku, but, sorry. So basically, what if Goku, and pretty much just go on about it again. And you gotta make sure, too, that if people, like, come and you can hear them, you gotta make sure that you stop, wait till, like, they stop making a loud noise, and then resume. Because if you keep talking throughout their noise and your camera picks it up, then you'll be talking and you'll be able to hear people in the background, and no one really wants to hear that. So you gotta make sure that everything around you is nice and quiet, you are nice and clear, and you edit stuff out. So in the process of editing stuff out, basically a bunch of people asked, what do you use to edit videos? And I use two things to edit my videos. Number one, for the audio, I use iMovie. So for iMovie, what I do is that I take my audio, I put it in iMovie, and what I do is that I listen to it, and then as I'm going through it, I basically cut out the little chunks of stuff where I mess up, or I cut out the chunks of me taking, like, a deep breath. So basically, if you guys can tell in the videos, I don't, like, a lot, and that's because I cut that stuff out, and I just combine it with, another sentence that I did. Like, I don't have it go, like, back to back to back to back. I have, one, like, little in there, like, you can tell, because I'm not perfect when I'm doing it, so it's like, you can hear a little, but You gotta make it as clear as possible. And iMovie's completely free on like your iPhone. If you have an iPhone, I don't have an Android, so I don't know. Sorry about that. This is all iPhone, I guess. But you can. It's completely free. You can just take your audio, put it in there, and cut your vocals out. That way, people will be able to, understand you. You're not like too annoying with your breaths and stuff and mistakes that you make. So that's just for audio purposes. Another thing for audio is you gotta make sure that you sound interesting. Like, you can't just sound like, yeah, so, Goku basically just killed Frieza. I hate my life. You can't just sound like that, pretty much. Like, you gotta make sure that you flare it up more and you sound interesting. Don't sound like, okay, guys, so now we're gonna be doing what ifs. Don't be, like, annoying like that. But you gotta make sure that you sound more, like, energetic. Like, you can't just sound like a static screen, pretty much. Like, the voice can make or break a what if, I'll tell you that. Like, because you gotta make sure that you're not boring, because people will click off if you're boring. So you gotta make sure that you at least have good, like, audio and like, good vocal work, pretty much, to make sure that people are interested. And this one is going to be the most important part, and that is the visuals of a what if. So basically, you gotta make sure it's interesting, because if you just make like a thumbnail and you like have it throughout your entire video, more than likely people are gonna get bored, because you gotta make sure that people are entertained. That's the whole purpose of making what ifs. Like, you gotta make sure that you are entertained, and you gotta make sure that your audience is entertained. So basically, like I said, if I just put like a picture of Cell there, and I'm talking about like what if Cell like killed everybody or something, and I talk for like 20 minutes about what would happen if Cell killed somebody, and it's just a static image of Cell, people are probably going to like leave like a couple minutes into your video because it's not visually interesting. And you gotta make sure, because all they can hear is just you, and they don't know you. So basically, it's just, oh, here's this guy talking for 20 minutes in a still image. I don't want to watch this. Basically, for the visuals, what you gotta do, well, what I do, basically, is I use KindMaster on mobile. Now, for KindMaster, it's not free, and if you don't pay for it, you'll have a watermark. And luckily for me, I had to use KindMaster for my job, actually, so my boss was able to buy it for me. And so, it gave me access to it, so I can just use it whenever I want. So it's like, thanks having a job, let's go. You can use it for that. And it's basically, like, I don't use it to, like, I add, like, an interesting, like, laser eyes and stuff. Like, I basically just be like, here's a picture, here's the person coming in, and here's them going out, and here's them coming in, here's them going out, and popping around and moving around and stuff. Like, KindMaster is good for doing stuff like that, to make sure that there's always something kind of happening on screen. To make sure that your viewer doesn't get, like, just bored just staring at your video. Now, I gotta warn you, too, that making the visuals is going to take a little bit, because basically what you gotta do is you gotta put in your audio with it, and you have to put in pictures and stuff. Well, you don't have to, but you have to put in a bunch of pictures and stuff to make sure that it's entertaining for people. Now, this can be a process, I'm telling you that, because if you make, like, a 20-minute long what if, you're going to take, like, a lot of time working on that what if, making sure that you fill up those 20 minutes with interesting content. That's why, for me, I don't make longer videos, because it just takes a lot more time. And it's not just because I'm lazy, it's because I want to get stuff out a little bit faster. So, basically, as you can tell for some of my videos, like, they're, like, 6 or, like, 7 minutes in length. And that's entirely on purpose, because I'm not just doing it to be like, oh, yeah, here's more videos so I can get more views and more money. No, it's basically just so I can shoot out content faster for you guys. And it's not just like I'm like a machine, I make what ifs every single day. Like, you gotta take breaks too. Like, if my whole life, like every waking moment of every day was just me making what ifs, number one, I'd go insane. And number two, if I put out what ifs like every single day, then basically I'm gonna run out of ideas fast. And, then I'm gonna not have anything left to do, and then people are gonna be like, oh, well, you don't have anything I like anymore, then bye, and subscribe, and no one wants that, basically. So, you gotta make sure you manage your time well with that, in that aspect. Like, basically, what you're gonna have to do is you gotta make sure that you pace yourself. So, what you wanna do is you can write down a what if for, let's just say, for Monday or something. If you wanna publish a what if Monday, and what you gotta do, see how that video does. And for me, when I was starting out, I only got like 12 views on like my videos. And whatever, 12 people watch my videos, cool. So what you gotta do is you gotta make sure they push that video for that day, and even if it doesn't get a lot of views, you gotta make sure that you space it out at max like 2 days. So you put it out on Monday, so what you gotta do, wait till maybe Wednesday or Thursday to post a new video. Because if you post new videos back to back to back, basically people will most likely miss out on one of your videos and they'll see another one, and that they won't see the one from the day before. Because YouTube is kind of weird to that kind of stuff, where like if you post like a million videos at once, people are going to be like, oh, well, I didn't see part 5 to this video, and you're like, oh, I posted that yesterday, and they're like, oh, I didn't get notified of it, because that's because you posted like a bunch of videos, so it got lost. So you got to make sure you pace yourself. Now this is my final point. Now this is going to be the hardest part of making what ifs, and that is going up against the bigger what if YouTubers. Now for me, it was a little bit rough in the beginning, because I was making like Kingdom Hearts what ifs, I was making the What Iffinity, and I was getting like 12 at max 50 views for my video. And 50 views is still a lot of people, but when you're trying to be like, okay, I want to push my stories out there to people, like, you gotta be wary that most people will not find you, that you can't, like, they're not gonna see you when you're competing against the bigger channels. Like I was talking about earlier, like if I posted like what if Goku Black was good, most people aren't going to see that because they most likely won't get recommended because you're a smaller channel, or they'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna watch Carthu's Dojo, whatever. So you gotta be wary of that. Like, you're not gonna become a YouTube star overnight. All you have to do is just wait. Like, you can't just push out a bunch of content every day and drive yourself mad and be like, why aren't people watching my videos? And it's more than likely that it's mainly because they just haven't found you yet. Like, they haven't found your channel, they don't see what you're good at, so they're not immediately going there. Like, they're not just purposely looking up your YouTube channel just out of the blue. Like, you have to give them a reason to come to your channel. You have to make, like, a good video. Like, I'm not saying that if you make a video it's all bad, but you have to make, like, a good video that you hope will get recommended to people. That was basically with me. If you guys have been here from the beginning, you know that I did not get a lot of views on my videos. Like, I only had like 45 subscribers like 2 weeks ago, and suddenly I'm like over 2,000, which is insane to me. And it all just stems from a video I made. Like, I made What If Goku Remembered His Saiyans, and that is suddenly when everybody came flooding in. That video is currently over 30,000 views, which is like, oh my god. Basically, it's just, you have to make like a video that people will be interested in, that enough people will most likely watch, and that will get recommended to more people. And so people will flood in to see that, and if they really like that video, then they're going to subscribe to your channel. So that's basically what happened with me. I made a good video that people saw and enjoyed and shared, and since so many people watched it and shared it, it got recommended to others on YouTube. And since they watched it, they're like, oh, cool, I'll go watch this guy's channel. You have to just wait for the right video. Like, again, you're not going to become a star overnight, basically. It took me a long time to reach where I am now. So, it's just, you have to be patient. Like, if you post a video and only like 5 people watch it, don't get discouraged. It's gonna happen. Like, that's what happened to me. If you check out my old videos of Kingdom Hearts, I made this Union Cross stuff, basically, because I liked Union Cross. It's basically, if you look back, I have like 5 views on them. I had my playthrough on Birth by Sleep. They all have like 3 to 5 views, because most people were like, oh, I don't really want to watch this. So don't get discouraged in that aspect. You just gotta keep pushing yourself to get better. Like, of course, your older videos, they're always not gonna be as good as your newer videos. Trust me. Like, the moment you start out and from like a long time and you make it the video you make then, they're not gonna be the same in quality. So you gotta make sure you're not aiming for like perfection when you're making a video, because more likely than not you're gonna look back and be like, what the hell was I thinking? All I got to say, my advice to you, is just make sure that your editing is interesting to people to watch, gotta make sure that it's an interesting topic, not just like, hey, what if Goku had an extra finger? Like, no one's gonna care. So basically, gotta make sure that the video is interesting, and you gotta just hope for the best that people can find it. Like, if you have like a social media or something and you want to advertise it out there, then you can. For me, most of my friends don't really like Dragon Ball, so I can't just post on my Instagram because people are gonna be like, well, dude, I don't care. Like, I'm not watching your videos. So basically, you just gotta hope for the best that it'll get recommended by YouTube for people to watch. And if it's an interesting video, and you followed like the editing steps that I said earlier, and people enjoy it, then more likely than not, your hard work will be paid off. Trust me. So, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you all for giving me 2,000 subscribers. Like, I'm so happy right now, it's not even funny. And I know I posted my community tab, like, what would you guys want for a 2,000 subscriber special? So trust me, What If Trunks Could Change the Past Part 2 is gonna come out, but let's just say that's gonna be like a 2.1 thousand subscribers special, because I wanted to do this for a while. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you guys, if you're starting out a What If channel, that I hope you guys soar and you make it to new heights and you guys become a super popular What If YouTuber. So, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.